Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praise to Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawashi, bahasham, quadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who are teaching the truth and sincerity, and a shout out to Yakim and Yahawah that are tuning in and listening. Barak the Yahawah, Barak the Yahawashi, bahasham, quadash, Barak atham. So, out here another week prophesying the downfall of America, Babylon the Great, and a lot of things taking place as this has been coined the year of prophecy, 2020, and we've seen a lot of prophecy take place, and this being the end of January. Well, we're just going to see a lot more in February and so on. You know, as the king of Babylon has labeled us the prophets of doom because they are finding out that what we're saying has a lot of worth to it, meaning that people are starting to see our signs. You know, especially you get to the bigger camps, and even the smaller camps still carry the 12 tribes sign, still will tell you that that image that you grew up with of Caesar Borgia is not the biblical image of Yahawashi, and that the angels and that the men of Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawashi are not who you pictured them to be. They're not so-called white people. That in fact they are Jakes. They have darker skin and tone to them. You know, that Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, and then you've got the scattered, you know, Israelite foreigners that be among them are the real Israelites. You know, not everything that you were taught, you know, because Esau likes to play all the parts in the movies. So, you know, you've had this image for a long time, but we've been tearing down those images. But also, the things that we teach on the streets totally differ with what Christianity teaches. And we tear down the strongholds of Christianity. You know, that he's not a God that loves everyone. That he doesn't even love all of Yahawah because, hey, he's going to destroy the sinners out of it. Talk about this place, America, Babylon the Great. You know, and that this place, when it gets destroyed utterly by the nuclear destruction, that everybody will see it afar off. The noise was heard in the Red Sea. That's on the other side of the world. They're going to see Babylon the Great destroyed. You know, and they're going to see the armies of Babylon the Great destroyed right there in the valley of Yahawashi. So, you know, as the U.S. is getting kicked out of Iraq and being moved out and chased off and being sent back into Saudi Arabia, which is exactly where Apostle Tahar said that they would be, at the valley of Yahawashi, right there in Saudi Arabia, at this war that's being escalated. So we definitely believe Donald J. Trump to be reelected. I can't help but reiterate what Apostle Tahar has been saying all along, because he's been right all along. That's why we say double honors to elders and apostles of Great Millstone. You know, Apostle Tahar on down, because they have been right all along. You're seeing this. You know, the fact that the king of Babylon, Donald Trump, because he's the king that you see, you don't see the Rothschilds. You know, they only have their kings and princes sent forth. You know, so this king of Babylon has officially said that we must reject these prophets of doom, that we must reject everything that they say. You know, because of course we're blowing the whistle on this. We're telling everybody that, hey, you know, repent while you still got time. You know, we're telling our people to come out of the things of Babylon. And we're telling our people that the God of the Bible does not love everyone, that he has one nation that he's set above all others. But he's judging 2/3 of that nation too. So, therefore, that totally differs with what Christianity teaches. He's coming all peaceful and loving and all that. No, man. Only for those that repent. Those that he really, truly died for. You know, because this word is cutting Esau to the bone. And that is why he wants to reject the prophets of doom. You know, because, yeah, the future is not very good for Esau, but it's very good for us. The new heaven and the new earth that's spoken of in Revelation, chapter 20 on up, you know, that is dealing with the 12 tribes of Yahawah. And that's what we teach. But Christianity teaches you that all nations are going to make it, and they're not. No. In fact, one's going to be utterly done away with completely, and that's Esau, Edom. Yes, he will serve 1,000 years of slavery, but after that he will be totally done away with. Because Esau cannot repent. Esau was created for one reason, as a lesson. As a lesson to not be like. He's the standard of what to not do. So that's why he's in power now. So we see clearly what it's like when the wicked are in rulership. The wicked beareth rule. All the people of the earth, including the animals, are mourning. Because look at all the stuff that they're doing. You know, animals have to be microchipped now in order for you to adopt them. They have to be microchipped. You try to go get a dog from the pound. They've been microchipped already. You know, and you know that that's causing cancer. You know, that they don't care. Because they want to put that same tracking chip in you. They want to monitor everything. You know, that's why cameras are up everywhere. They want to know your everyday activity. Because it's easy to sit behind a computer desk and just push buttons to give tickets, you know, such as how the light camera tickets, man, and you get a fine, you know, about $420 just for running a red light. But it's not just that; it's everything, hooked into everything. They want to know every transaction, you know, and they want to totally do away with cash. That's why Amazon now wants to make your hand a credit card. I mean, we have to reiterate that because that's some of the latest in the Mark of the Beast prophecy. Then you got this other guy who wants to put a chip in your brain. You know, put a brain chip in you, a brain stem, you know, and that being Elon Musk, you know. So you're seeing a lot more of this, you know. And when the beast, you know, makes the mark mandatory, which we can see this coronavirus, which was created here in Babylon, which is now spread over there. You try to order something from China. Say that you got back deals going through China. You order something on eBay from China, they're going to cancel your orders. The guy told me, you know, because there was an item that I was supposed to get through China, man. That's all been stopped due to this, you know. And what a better way to end the trade war, right? Than to manufacture a virus. So we definitely believe that that's a Mossad operation because they're deliberately crashing the economy. Because if Moab and Babylon are not trading amongst each other, then that would really truly bring in the end of the stock market, as they call it. Because that's where your main trades are between China and the U.S. and the rest of the world. It first goes through those two, Moab and Babylon. And then the rest of the world trades. So if you cut that down, because of course, you know, now you know that the airlines are shut down. So, you know, there's no more travel there. And travel's a big one. Many people travel over there for business meetings. So what do you think that's going to do? Not to mention, you got all the other tariffs. You got the so-called election coming up this year. You know, you got the impeachment trial going on, which we definitely know that Trump is going to pretty much bypass that. And still going to be in power and is going to win the re-election. We definitely believe that. We'd be surprised if he doesn't. Put it that way. And we know that he's the one to start World War III. I mean, we can just feel that, you know, because I've never seen a greater egomaniac. I mean, you could even just go back to anything else even before he became the president. Like you watch The Apprentice or you watch other things, and this guy is boastful on everything, man. Got total pride and is more arrogant than ever. Well, that's just it, though. He's the king of Babylon. That's why the Rothschilds put him in there. Even though, you know, and they did it in such a way to make the people think that he actually won the election. To make people think that because they purposely did a flip of the switch to make you think that, oh, well, everything's looking because everybody's pro-Hillary. So everybody was thinking that Hillary was going to be the next president, and they did a switch. But Trump is always the one that they wanted in there. So you can see how that all falls into place. And that he's leading Babylon into this third woe that comes quickly. Pretty much, man, you know, Iran and the U.S. are official enemies. I mean, once you take out leaders of theirs, then you're threatening to assassinate more. Well, they're getting ready. They are getting ready, and they're getting all the other countries to join them. That's why Iraq is, you know, which Iraq wanted them out anyways. Because of all the terrorism. They're tired of the terrorism. But now Iran is backing them up even more so, you know, because, you know, Iran pretty much is, you could say that they're the broker for peace in the Middle East, you know, because they have been stopping terrorism, you know. It was the government of Syria that asked for Hezbollah's help, you know. And Nasrallah, you know, the leader of Hezbollah, has been a great help to Bashar al-Assad and the Syrian Arab army. They've been fighting them terrorists for a long time. That's why Damascus was pretty much taken back. Duma was recaptured. And so like everything else, though, they're now getting ready to do a false flag to make everybody believe, even though it doesn't really work on the majority of people. Because most people, even when it comes to the second war in Iraq, they knew that Saddam Hussein didn't have chemical weapons, that George W. had lied about that. So they definitely know that they're lying about Bashar al-Assad having chemical weapons when he actually disposed of any such weapons back in 2013, you know? And so they still push the same narrative over and over again because they don't care what you believe. They're going to go to the war anyways, you know? They're kind of like that old Slayer song, War Ensemble. The war ensemble is continuing. You know, support a war, go to war when the end is a slaughter. The finest week is not a drill, it's how many people I can kill. And that's the whole manifest of Esau Edom, man, is how many people they can kill. The more they love death and glory, man. They call it glory when a bunch of people die in battle. And for what glory? For Amalek to get more rich? To put more tariffs on people? Because let's face it, you know, the United States is run by Amalek. It always has been, you know. And Benjamin, not a Jew, really has Trump in his pocket. And that's the way these elites want it, you know. I mean, the rest of the world calls them everything else but Jews. They call them the Zionists. They call them Israeli, meaning that they live in the so-called state of Israel, so they're called Israelis. But they don't recognize them as the Jews. No, because they know that they're something else. But you see, that's just it. We have the blessing. And this whole thing is about Jacob and Esau. You can see that for what it is. I mean, Cain, he killed Abel because Abel's sacrifice was considered a good offering. And Cain was jealous of that, so he murdered his brother. And yet Esau, the reincarnate of Cain, came back and says, after I have mourned my father, then I will slaughter my brother Jacob. And that's what they've done, is they've led an onslaught against us. They're going to lead a further onslaught against us. You know that we're in the times of Revelation 11, when the beast that has sinned out of the pit shall make war with us, overcome us, and kill us. By the king of Babylon declaring that we must reject these prophets of doom, you know that they're going to do everything to slander us in the media. Hell, you've got all these fake narratives of so-called, you know, attacks on these Amalekites. You know, but they're not calling them Amalekites. You know, they're calling us, what, anti-Shemitic, yeah. To even speak the name Yahawah and Yahawashi is considered anti-Shemitic now. No, we're not going to say anti-Semitic, we'll say anti-Shemitic, because we have the proper names, see? So, you know, but to be anti-Shemitic, you would have to be against Ishmael, and even Moab and Ammon are also sons of Shem. So, how does that all compute? It doesn't compute. So, you know, they come up with all these things because they really, truly, though, had everybody, because people are waking up to this. Even these Amalekites are waking up to it. You know that Maurice Sklar, who is a violinist, Amalekite, who saw the destruction of Babylon, and he calls it Babylon. He calls America Babylon. And he's telling you directly from the Bible. I just had to rewatch that again. Maurice Sklar, you know, and the destruction coming to Babylon, the soon destruction, where he saw this place burn up and fire and roll up like a scroll, exactly the way the scriptures said that it would. He's seen America ultimately burned with fire, as the prophet Isaiah told us in chapter 34, which I'm going to get that, you know, because it's time to bring these words out, which this prophecy of doom is coming right out of the Bible, you know. Isaiah chapter 34, verse 1, come here, ye nations, to hear and hearken, yea, people, let the earth hear, and all that is therein, the world and all the things that come forth out of it, you know. So that's what we're doing. We're telling people, hear this, as we declare it on the streets and we go forth. For the indignation of the Most High is upon all nations. What's that indignation? Well, what's this wrath that's coming up? You know, the cup of wrath of indignation, you know, that's spoken of in Revelation. Same thing here. And his fury, all their armies, he hath utterly destroyed them. He hath delivered them to the slaughter, which is basically the third woe that's coming quickly, that we're speaking about. Their slain shall also be cast out, and their stink shall come up out of their carcasses, and the mountains shall be melted with their blood. Yeah, because this whole place is going to be laid desolate. And all the hosts of heaven shall be dissolved, and the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll. That's the mushroom clouds. And all their hosts shall fall down as the leaf falleth off the vine, and as a falling fig from the fig tree. So pretty much this whole kingdom, all the kingdoms, the third part of man, what's that talk about? Will be destroyed by this. The third part of man be killed. So what's that talking about? Well, you have, as Apostle Tahara has broken this down too, well, you have the hosts of heaven, which are the angels. Then you got the gods of the earth, which are the Israelites. And then you have the sons of the wicked, which is the third part of man. For my sword shall be bathed in heaven. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea, another key word for Babylon, for America, for Esau, Edom, and upon the people of my curse to judgment, which is talking about your red Hebrew Edomites. The sword of the Lord is filled with blood. It is made fat with the fatness and with the blood of lambs and goats, and with the fat of the kidneys of rams, for the Lord Yahawah, a sacrifice in Basra, which is another key word for America, and a great slaughter in the land of Idumea, which is talking about here, Babylon the Great. You know, again, this destruction is going to be seen worldwide. You will see it in the Red Sea. You will hear the noise of their fall. You're going to hear a bunch of people cry out. You know, kind of like what they iterate in the movie Star Wars. You remember when Alderaan was destroyed? Well, that's how this place is going to seem. Or better yet, another good illustration would be Star Wars: A Rogue Story. You know, the other one that they just come out with recently when they destroyed that entire city. Well, that's going to be the sound of this place when it's destroyed by 200 million nuclear missiles. And the unicorns shall come down with them, and the bullocks with the bulls, and their land shall be soaked with blood, and their dust made fat with fatness. For it is the day of the Lord's vengeance, and the year of recompenses for the controversy of Zion. And what is that controversy? What they did to us when they brought us over here, and they had put us into captivity, and everything else that they've done to us, and they continue to do to us. For the Most High is going to make an example of this place, because when this place is destroyed, and it will be very shortly here, and this is exactly why Donald Trump has stressed that he has to reject these prophets of doom, because we're just telling what's actually written in the scriptures. And the streams thereof shall be turned into pitch, and the dust thereof into brimstone, and the land thereof shall become burning pitch. You know, what's that talking about? Nuclear destruction, which will come upon this place very shortly here. It shall not be quenched, night nor day. The smoke thereof shall go up forever. From generation to generation it shall lie waste. None shall pass through it forever and ever. Because 200 million nuclear missiles will surely take out this place. And there's a hypersonic missile that can reach this place in about 15 minutes or less. So other nations possess this as well, but Russia has the most precision. But where are these nations buying them from? Russia. But the cormorant and the bittern shall possess it. The owl and the raven shall dwell in it, and he shall stretch out upon it the line of confusion. Confusion is another word for Babylon, and the stones of emptiness, because this place is nothing but confusion. You know, they have names on you. They tell you things like if you don't know whether you're a boy or a girl, you're just confused. You know that you know, and only here would they create such a thing called transgenders. You know, and this is totally an abomination. And Babylon has spread its abominations worldwide. You know that to be true. So therefore, these scriptures are talking about this place, America, Babylon the Great. This is Babylon the Great. And the thorns shall come up in her palaces, nettles and brambles in the fortresses thereof, and it shall be a habitation of dragons and a court for owls. You know, because it's going to be nothing but dead. The wild beasts of the earth shall also meet into the wild beasts of the island, and the satyr shall cry to his fellow. The screech owl also shall rest there and find for herself a place to rest. So pretty much, man, nothing but burnt up. This place would be nothing but burnt up, exactly the way that Maurice Sklar was describing. You see, at the end times, he's not just giving the visions to the prophets. No, he's giving it to the entire world to see that, to see the destruction of this place. And what's going to come out of this? After the destruction of this place, there'll be a new heaven and a new earth, as Revelation chapter 20 and up tells us, you know. And I saw a new heaven and a new earth, you know. That's when we come into rulership, you know. We, the elect, the hopeful elect, come into rulership with Yahawashi reigning over us, you know, because this place will be found no more. You know, we just got to endure just a little bit longer, so we're just kind of sitting back and watching things. We're watching things from afar up, but yet we're still here. Revelation chapter 21, and it reads, "And I saw a new heaven and a new earth, for the first heaven and the first earth were passed away, and there was no more sea." You know, so pretty much, and this whole place, Babylon the Great, what is it? It's going to be cast into the sea. It's going to be called the lake of fire. Think about that one. "And I, John, saw the holy city, New Jerusalem, which first, before it becomes a place where people first, so we come down from heaven, come down from that chariot, that sweet chariot that came forward to carry us home. This is going to be our home. This is where we're coming to. Coming down from Yahawah out of heaven, prepared as a bride, adorned for her husband." Talking about Yahawashi. "And I saw a great voice out of heaven saying, Behold, the tabernacle of Yahawah, bahasham Yahawashi, is with men. And they shall be his people, and Yahawah, bahasham Yahawashi himself shall be with them, and be their power. And shall wipe away all tears from their eyes, and there shall be no more death, neither sorrow nor crying, neither shall there be any more pain, for the former things are passed away." And this is only applicable to we, the elect, the Hebrew Israelites. This is not applicable to the other nations. You see, that's another thing Christianity deceives you with, you know, and to making you think that all nations are going to be spared. But they're not. You see, there's only one nation that's going to be ruling, and that's the kingdom of Yahawah, which is through the kingdom of, well, yeah, the kingdom of Yahawah. I did say it correctly, which is ruled with Yahawashi. You know? So all these other things must come to pass first, but the end is not yet. "For nation shall rise up upon nation, and kingdom upon kingdom." We're seeing that. We're seeing this kingdom slowly being divided by itself, you know? Pretty much. You know? That, wow. About 2 quad cars have passed by. Nope, not doing anything illegal. Nope. So pretty much, you know, and they're watching us. They know who we are. So, either way, though, the new kingdom's going to be coming, you know. And that kingdom will come on earth as it is in heaven. You see how heaven and earth will be new again? For the old one is gone. See, the wicked were only given a short time to rule. They had 2 main areas, because when we talk about the wicked, we're mostly talking about Esau, Edom, but all the other kingdoms had a chance of rulership as well. It's just Esau, Edom got 2 chances because he was made the example. You see, all the other nations had their own philosophies already, but Esau, Edom just took it a step further than all these other ones, because, you know, they had taken the Egyptian gods, made them their own, you know, in Greek mythology, made it their own, and made the images to look like them, because that's what the iconoclasm was. They had taken the mythologies, so that's why, you know, you always heard, well, if you don't go to church, you're going to go to hell, you're going to burn for all eternity. But yet, this whole fire and brimstone that you do read about in there is just talking about this one day and this 1 hour when this place, Babylon the Great, shall be no more, shall be laid desolate. Nuclear holocaust is what that's talking about. So yeah, it's going to burn a very mighty long time. But there's no place underground where you burn forever. Although hell is the grave. Absolutely it's the grave. Because your body is dead. Your spirit lives on, though. You know, but this torment of being tormented with hellfire, brimstone, you know, that's just it, though. These words do torture Esau, and this hellfire and brimstone that we speak of is really just talking about that day, the day of the Lord, which shall come like a thief in the night. That's coming. And we can see we're getting one step closer to Armageddon. And Armageddon really means the mountain of truth, but also is talking about World War III. Because you notice Gog and Magog is only mentioned in Ezekiel and in Revelation. Those are the only two books that mention Gog and Magog, which is Russia. So Russia, which is a guard unto all these places, Russia's going to be the ultimate destroyer of Babylon. For the Most High himself to put it into their hearts to fulfill his will, as the scriptures tell us. And again, we're just reading right out of the Bible. We reiterate the Bible because the Bible foretells of everything. You know, this new heaven and new earth is for the Israelites. Now, the other kingdoms, you know, are going to be under subjection to us. You know, and eventually, after they've served their part of slavery, they'll be put back into power, but not Esau, Edom. Esau, Edom will be utterly done away with forever. And so don't let anybody else tell you that, you know, some Edomites will make it. You know, you have Edomite friends. You know, not all Edomites are bad. Don't even buy into this philosophy. Even if you've been treated good by Edomites and all that, just know that it's not really so much Esau, Edom. That's just the Most High and the angels looking out for you. So that's why that Edomite's done you good. You know, I can give you an example. I lost my wallet the other day, right? And it's like, well, you know, if I did lose it at a place, man, I ain't getting it back because I already know who Esau Edom is, right? But, you know, there's got to be a balance to this, right? So the lesson is yeah, an Edomite did hand it in to the lost and found, and I did get it back because I got to keep in mind, we all got to keep in mind that it is Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawashi who also controls Esau Edom. So he controls the Edomites. So even if the Edomites have been good to you, that's just Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawashi having mercy upon you. You know? So you've been treated all right, you know? You were treated okay, you know, by some Edomites. But yet you still know the history and all that. So no, not all Edomites are going to make it. But if the Edomites have done you well and all that, just know that it was the Most High, the angels, rawcha, quadash, protecting you. He protects the elect. And that's why, you know, you were protected during that time. That's why an Edomite might have shown you kindness. You see how that works? Just to balance this whole thing. Esau still serves the Most High, just serves him on the left. So, keep that in mind. Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawashi controls all things. Now, we go in on Esau, Edom. Of course we do, because of the fact that he's being brought to judgment, and his sins are being remembered. And yes, he has sins too. No, he wasn't given the 10 Commandments of Moses. He wasn't given our laws, but he was given laws. Absolutely. Thou shalt not touch my anointed. That was one of his main laws that he had broken. He had done that in both rulerships, under the Roman Empire and the revised Roman Empire. He most certainly has done this. So therefore, you know, he's being brought to judgment, and that's what happens. Who are you to judge? Only God could judge me. Well, that's just it. We are the gods of the earth. Remember, we are. You know, so keep that in mind as well. That we, the elect, are in fact going to be the future kings of the earth. Because that's how the order is. There's the third part of man, which is the wicked that are in a power right now. But then you have the angels of the Most High, and then you have the sons of the Most High, which is where we come in. So therefore, yes, we can judge them. And that's what we're doing. We're coming out here and we're calling judgment upon them. We're calling down the wrath of Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawashi to spare us, but to curse them. Because it's time. Enough of this. Let me take a good look, though. Do you see anything righteous about this place? Anything righteous here? Absolutely not. But we're being brought back into righteousness. We're standing on our own 2 feet. So therefore, we're calling out the sin for what it is. And we are certainly casting lots. And that's what scares Esau the most, is the fact that, for one, he's been called out, okay? They can't tell us anymore that, oh, well, the Edomites, that's talking about the Arabs. Because we will often pull this one out and says, well, then who are the Ishmaelites? Where's Ishmael then? You know? So they can't do that anymore. They can no longer do that. You know, that fat fuck of a preacher can't lie to you anymore. He has no power whatsoever. You know? And, you know, you've been giving up all those abominable foods. Yeah, this scares the shit out of Esau because once you've given up all that and you start coming to repentance and you start keeping the commandments to the best of your abilities, and you're coming out here and teaching, you're proclaiming all this, guess what? He has no hold on you whatsoever. The chains are being lifted from us, you know, and it's now falling upon his neck. These chains are now falling upon his neck, and he knows he's about to go into captivity, and he knows this place is about to be destroyed. And this is what why Donald Trump says we must reject these prophets of doom. So I hope all this has been edifying. Like everything else, though, we are going to proclaim this. That's why they're trying to get this off the street. That's why they've been shutting down camp channels and all that. But we'll just keep bouncing back until we can no longer. Famine the word's coming. And then you know all the other prophecies, the FEMA camps, martial law, and, of course, the mark being made mandatory. And then, finally, the third woe. For that, I want to say, BARAK the Yahawah, BARAK the Yahawashi, bahasham quadash, wa abal babal. BARAK Yahawashi, Shalom.